they're all wrong. One's American and one is an Aussie. Talking about StarCraft 2 and the esports scene.
Hello, and welcome to the podcast, Falcon.
Thank you, sir, so much, Sir Samacron of the hoodie.
I mean, the weather is still getting colder. It tends to do that this time of year. So you're going to see the hoodie for like the next 3 months.
Sounds good. I've been wearing this hoodie for the last 3 months, and maybe this is the last time you'll see it.
Oh, really? It's getting warm?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Right now at 7 p.m., it is about 60 degrees outside. So, yeah,
What's that in a real temperature?
60 degrees.
Yeah, I'm going to guess 16.
You used to be good at this
I
conversion.
used to be, yeah. F to
But-
Celsius. Let's see. It's 15.5. So I wasn't too far off. I was half
You
a
are-
degree off.
Insanely close. Like, no one would dock you for being half a point off there.
No.
Yeah, so it's nice. It's nice outside. It's good. I'm wearing the hoodie almost just out of,
Habit.
habit right now.
It is 63 degrees Fahrenheit here at 11 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're like right in that middle ground where the northern hemisphere where you or where I am and the southern hemisphere where you are is
Mhm.
basically the same weather, same
Yep.
temperature anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good. Good. I remember actually pulling the hoodie out when it started getting cold last fall and being like, it's been a long time since I put this on.
We meet again, old
So-
friend.
I know, right? So I need to go back to like my shorts and my t-shirts and
Time to put the hoodie
trending.
away.
yeah, put the hoodie away, go back to sweltering inside this room
Mm-hmm.
when it's summer because it's hot outside and the CPU adds to that and it's a small room and the sun comes through the window and all that stuff. So huzzah, looking forward to that.
No air conditioning?
There is, but like
You don't want to run it all the time.
it's not free.
Right, exactly.
I don't know. Maybe I should just run it for like the hour when I'm actively cooped up in here casting and I don't have the door open and stuff like that. So maybe I'll do
Maybe.
that.
Maybe. Or you
don't
could
know.
carry around bottles of ice and just like press them to your face every 5 seconds.
Ooh, yeah. Get an ice pack and like
Yeah.
put it on my neck.
Yeah, there we go.
That'd be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. All right, good.
Glad we got that sorted.
I know, we got a problem solved already. Hooray. Anyway, let's see. Last week I went and saw Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I went and saw that 2 nights ago.
All right, cool. So we're basically on the same schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Guess we could give a quick rundown of that if you want to start with it, or if you'd rather rant about Halo or something, that'd be fine too.
I could not bring myself to watch Halo this week.
Oh, I thought this would have happened a while ago, but we got to that point. We did it. It finally broke Omicron.
Well,
Are you proud of yourselves, Paramount Plus? Are you?
I don't know. Like, you can't give it entirely credit. I've had a very long week. One of my coworkers died. I didn't know them very well, but
Right. Yes.
yeah,
Doesn't
there was some effort going on there.
happen.
And
So
then,
died at work, no less.
well,
No?
no,
Heart attack at work, died later?
in the ambulance away from work, but yeah, splitting hairs.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about that.
Fair.
But yeah, so I've also had Mother's Day, so that's
Yes.
draining. I slipped in the shower the other day because apparently I'm an old man.
Did you break your hip?
No, but I hurt my finger and my knees, and I've been bruised and sore. It was a wonderful experience. I highly don't recommend it to anyone. So the world is breaking me, not just the Halo.
Gotcha. So it was just on top of everything else, you couldn't bear to sit down and be like, and just watch Halo get desecrated for another 40 minutes.
Exactly.
I get it.
Yep.
What was I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I cooked mashed potatoes and like bought some flowers for my mom, but I don't remember being drained by this experience. What did you do? Are you a way better son than I am?
I did nothing. I sent my mother a text.
Okay.
Okay, so I believe my mother was out of town on Mother's Day weekend, so we've got plans to go to brunch next week.
Okay.
But there's extra work and preparation and conversation that has to happen with other people because everyone wants to know what everyone else is doing, and then there are events and stuff going on, and it just adds to the mental tax. That's all.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah. I also, for the
Yeah.
record, I did buy my mother a present. Like
Mhm.
she asked for a frying pan, like an electric one
Mhm.
that you put on the countertop. So I did. I bought her one of those. For anyone
Cool.
starts saying just a text message. No,
Was it
no. I
super cool and fancy?
yeah. It was very cool and very fancy.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's cool.
Top of the line.
I don't know if we have those here, or if we have them, they're not very popular.
Fair.
I'll have to look into this. Is it like the electric kettle? Is that like how that doesn't exist in America and it's like all over the place in the Commonwealth countries?
Possibly. I don't know.
Could be.
They're not super common here.
Okay.
I mean,
So it's not like a
my family's usually had one, but I don't know. We also cook on a stove, so it's just kind of like sometimes we use it, sometimes we don't. I don't know why. I'm not much of
Yeah.
a cook, so I couldn't tell you how often it gets cooked.
That's
Used.
what I was gonna ask. Like, how is it different than throwing a regular pan on the stovetop?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe
I have to ask your mom.
maybe she just wants extra stove space, right? Like
Yeah.
she's using 4 burners at once and wants a 5th.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
for that purpose, I get it. If you're just like, sometimes I'm cooking something crazy complicated and I need every single surface on the stove and another one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, cool. Good looking. We have this electric pan. That's great.
Mm-hmm. That could be it.
Excellent. That sounds like a very good gift.
Yeah. Well, she asked for it, so
Yeah.
Yep.
So that makes it easy.
made it very
Nothing
easy.
worse than someone you have to get a gift for constantly who just like refuses to give you hints or tell you anything of what they want.
Right. Yeah.
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 So it's always just like, oh, I'll give you what I got you last year, I guess.
That's okay.
Sometimes where I go.
My dad would always say, like, we'd ask him, like, what do you want for Christmas? And he'd say a jar of nothing. Right?
Yeah,
As like,
right.
don't get me anything. And so
Yeah.
one day, I believe my sister got a jar, decorated it, and put a label on it that said jar of nothing. And there was nothing in it, and gave him that. So
Okay.
if you say, give me nothing in our family, you will get a jar of nothing. Like, that,
Although if you want to get pedantic about it, I believe there's air inside that jar. So
no, we vacuumed it out.
mislabeled.
We got a vacuum seal on that. Like, it's fine.
Oh, smart. Okay.
Yeah.
As long as you did that, I think we're good.
Yeah.
'Cause otherwise, liars.
Uh,
All right. So Multiverse of Madness.
mm-hmm.
So just before we really get going here, I'm going to say this again. I would love to know the original plot lines for Multiverse of Madness, WandaVision, and No Way Home.
Okay.
Because I read a piece the other day that said that Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be before WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
How that makes any sense with how the story's going, it doesn't. But I want to know what they're planning on doing with that.
So the way No Way Home fits into that is there's literally only one line in Doctor Strange that relates to No Way Home, which is,
Yes.
do you guys have much experience with the multiverse? And you're like, some. Like, you just change that to, no, not really. And
Right.
you ignore any mention of spiders or shooting spiderwebs at your butt.
Exactly. Well, and also, was Wanda supposed to be the villain of Multiverse of Madness?
It's an interesting question.
Maybe she wasn't.
Maybe she wasn't.
Maybe,
Yeah, I have not.
maybe she's a late addition as the villain to this whole thing. I need someone to write the story of like, this is what Marvel wanted to do, and then COVID effed everything up, and they switched a ton of stuff around and did stuff on the fly and did a ton of reshoots, and this is what we got. I need to know. It's driving me crazy.
I mean, I don't care. because the movie we got was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine. It was a little overly cheesy and a bit of a departure from, I think, the seriousness that Marvel sometimes presents in its films. Like, there's a lot here going on that just is far too flamboyantly fantastic for it to really feel like it fits thematically with anything else.
So it's Sam Raimi.
Yes, it's Sam Raimi.
And all the stuff you're talking about there is Sam Raimi.
Yes.
Right?
I'm aware.
Okay. I just wanted to make that clear for the listeners.
It's
not like they just randomly pulled this out.
No, well, I mean, no. I mean, they opted to do it, but it does make it feel like it doesn't fit with the rest of the movies. Like, I feel like if you watch number 1 and 2 back to back, they should be at least somewhat similar. I get that there's also a disconnect between like Thor 1 and 2 and then Ragnarok, which is very different. The difference there, I think, is Ragnarok is significantly better than Thor 2. Thor 1, I still think holds up. I don't know that Doctor Strange 2 is better than Doctor Strange 1. It's just very different.
Yeah, no, totally. To the point that, like, it is. I don't even think it's a sequel to Doctor Strange. I don't. Like, the only constants here is that Christine, it's her wedding at the start. They have one conversation. He spends some time talking to an alternate reality, multiverse version of Christine. And Mordo shows up, an alternate version of Mordo, who does not have the same goals as
the Mordo we know. And in fact, they even have a few lines in there to entirely dismiss Mordo in our reality's version. Just like, yeah, he dedicated the rest of his life trying to kill me. And it's like, oh, so that adventure's over. Way to wrap that up off screen.
Is he dead? Where's Mordo? Yeah, they do this whole thing at the end of Doctor Strange where they're like, Mordo will return. He still has a grudge. Then he never shows up again for like a decade. And then they're like, here's Mordo, but he's different Mordo. And it's like, oh.
He's your brother, Mordo.
Yeah, it's not a continuation of the story of Doctor Strange at all. It's a different Mordo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it's a sequel to Doctor Strange. I really don't. I mean, I know they officially call it that, but
it is a sequel to Doctor Strange in the sense that it is the continuation. Like, Doctor Strange is the main character, and it's the continuation of his story. It's just, I would say it doesn't cover any of the plot lines already established, but we have the relationship between him and Christine. And one of the button scenes is shows the dark dimension or whatever it is from the first one.
Right.
Yeah. So technically, it covers it pulls in two things.
And the watch.
Yeah, and the watch. Sure, the watch is fine. Like,
and the watch, which has like 4 seconds total of screen time and does two things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of just really things I don't like about this movie. One of the main characters, whose name is America, is the worst choice you could have made for a character name, because it leads to cringy and dumb dialogue. Like, we have to protect America to save the multiverse.
Right. It's not their fault. That's what her name is in the comics. Like, we'll take it up with the comic person.
Sure, it's true, but you could have just given them a new name. Like, you could have changed. You could have rewritten that. There's no shame in that.
Yeah, they're not beholden to the comics at all.
No, not even remotely.
No. So actually, one thing, going back to like they changed stuff in No Way Home. America is supposed to be the one who's opening the portals to the different multiverses and pulling in the Spider-Man.
Why? In like the original comics story that's happening?
In No Way Home.
In the original comics, or in like an original draft
movie?
In the movie.
In the movie. She's supposed to be the one. Ned figures out how to sling ring by accident.
That doesn't pull.
Is what happens.
No. that's not how the portals to different dimensions open. You can't dimension
Correct.
it. You can't. No, what?
Correct.
What do you mean correct? I'm disagreeing with you.
No. In the original draft, it was America opens up a portal to a different dimension and yanks in the other Spider-Men.
Okay.
In the rewrite, the other Spider-Men blunder into our universe because of the magic spell, and then Ned sling rings them from their position in this current location to his grandma's house.
Right. Okay, so Ned opens a sling ring like normal and opens a portal between two different places on the same plane within the same city, really.
Yeah, probably like 4 blocks away.
Right, because he was picturing Spider-Man when he was trying to open a portal, and he accidentally found the other Spider-Mans. Yeah, that's not the same as he pulled them from different dimensions.
It's not. You're right, but the function of getting the Spider-Men from wherever they are into the movie used to be America, and now it's Ned.
No, now it's a magical spell that goes wrong that can somehow open portals to different dimensions. Which I feel like if Doctor Strange had a spell that could, even if it went wrong, open portals to different dimensions and pull people through, that could have been useful here.
Totally.
Like, hey, Wanda, why don't I just summon your kids from a different dimension? I did it with Spider-Man. Why can't I do it with your kids? Here, have them now. Be quiet.
Right. And that's, again, it opens a billion questions if they did it that way. If America's in No Way Home and she has control of her powers enough, then it takes place after Multiverse of Madness when she figures out how to control her powers, right?
Yeah.
And then WandaVision takes place chronologically after, maybe even after No Way Home. I don't know. It's driving me crazy.
I've not seen WandaVision, so I can't comment on why it should look different.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, WandaVision is just basically her enslaving an entire small town with brain magic to help her grieve for the loss of her husband Vision or her boyfriend, whoever they were. And then at the end of it,
she lets everyone go.
She lets everybody go.
And finds the magic book.
Yeah, and then she finds the Darkhold, and she's trying to find her kids, who she created through magic. That's another weird thing about this whole story. So in WandaVision, at the start, it's 1950s sitcom, blah, blah, pratfalls and laugh tracks, and everyone's laughing. And I think in episode 2, she gets pregnant.
Okay.
And then over the course of like a week, she gets more and more pregnant and then gives birth to these boys. And so, I don't know, they're not children from the town. Right? She didn't enslave the town, including these 2 boys, and make them hers. They came from magic.
Sure. It's magic. It can do that.
So is that what every other Wanda did? In all the other multiverses, they all enslaved a town and brought forth children with magic?
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe some of them she really did just have kids with Vision. That's the weird thing. You have a lot of Wanda in this, but no Vision. It's like, what if you opened up a portal and went to go and talk to your kids or whatever, or dream walk or whatever, and be like, oh, hey, there's Vision. Like, you don't want him back. You just want the kids. You could have them both. No interest in
isn't
it,
that right? Isn't that so weird?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's super weird. Well, and Vision's dead. Thanos killed him, and then Sword reconstitutes him into a super white version of Vision that has all of his memories and thoughts and stuff.
Okay.
So he shows up at the end of WandaVision and then like gets out of there. We haven't seen him since. Okay. So, I mean, Wanda knows that this other weird version of her husband exists, but yeah, like why isn't she looking for a version of a multiverse where Thanos didn't kill Vision? You're right.
Yeah.
Should be. Why is it all kids? Because they wrote this thing out of order and it's a mess. That's why. Maybe.
It's still like it could still be better than what it was supposed to be. Like, who knows? It could have turned out just really weird and completely off kilt if they didn't write it out of order.
Yeah.
Infinite past,
So
infinite possibilities.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I personally did enjoy the Raimi of it all, especially the second hour was like very much Sam getting to be Sam.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So,
get it. It's not for everyone. I understand that. And there are definitely people who are like, this is weird or this is not what I signed up for or whatever. But
right. I just find it all to be too much. It's like there was the scene where Wanda kills the Illuminati, and that's fun. And then she's like a zombie who's slow and doesn't really use any magical powers other than to break down doors. Like that's a fun scene. Like it's fun to watch, but it's like, why isn't she using any magic? Yeah.
right. Well, why isn't okay? So this really bothered me too. Because it seems like she has two kind of basic levels of magic. One is fire a magic projectile at the enemy, right?
Yep.
She's like, Hadouken! And this purple thing goes, and it hits you and go, ah!
Right.
And then the other thing is, she can change reality. It's like, why is that not all she does?
You can give
because
tuning
it's overpowered as hell. That's why.
You can take Tuning Fork's mouth away from him.
Yes.
But you have to blast open doors. Like, why don't... Like,
but you have to fling Captain America's shield at her? You can't, I don't know, remove her face and she suffocates? Like, why is this hard? I don't understand.
Well, the answer for that is we wanted a cool fight scene, and we got a cool fight scene.
And that's fine. But again, Captain Marvel...
She just like the powers
turn her into a bird? Like, the options are endless right now. Right. You can do anything with your magics, and you're punching and kicking and hurling fireballs at your enemies instead sometimes for story purposes. But her power set is super overpowered and kind of sucks. And it's not really the fault of the movie, but it's bad. It is hard to write for. Yeah.
I mean,
it's just really distinct that she unravels Reed Richards in about a second and a half.
Yeah.
And she removes the mouth of Black Bolt.
Black Bolt, yeah.
Tuning Fork.
But
then for the rest of them, she has to like be flying around and hurling projectiles and pulling statues down on top of people. These are two different things.
Well,
just unravel everyone.
I mean, I assume she did what she did to Reed Richards and Black Bolt because they had obvious weaknesses. Like, you have a man made of rubber, you just turn his elasticity up to maximum and he falls apart, right? Men who, like, not in the heat of combat.
It has to be thematic.
Well, no. Let me finish my train of thought. Which is, Black Bolt has, like, the ability to really do damage with his mouth. Like, and she knows that. So before combat starts, she's able to subtly alter him that he can't use his power except in a way that is very painful for himself, probably. But by the time the rest of them are all like, all right, let's kick into action, she's not invulnerable. She actually has to duck, dodge, and parry, and at that point, the subtler art of shifting reality is much harder, and she's forced to revert to Hadoukens and throwing back shields and stuff, which is also very effective and she's capable of. It's just what she has to do in a combat situation.
I don't know that she has to. Why does she have to?
I don't know. Take effort, concentration, self-preservation. Like, sure, she could sit there and slowly make sure none of them have mouths, but someone else might land an attack that actually damages her.
What was slow about it? It's like, Black Bolt here, he can speak a word and you'll die, and like, bing, his mouth's gone. She's not like doing an incantation. She's not brewing something in a cauldron over there that takes a few minutes.
She's just
like, fling, done.
She has limited mana when she's dreamwalking. She expanded most of her power and any more, and she wouldn't be able to get to the girl.
See, that's all I want. I just want them to be like, okay, yeah, it is super overpowered that she can just remove someone's mouth from their face with a thought. But she runs out of mana, and she has to go back to telekinesis and stuff while that regenerates. And she's out of potions.
Sure.
Right. So the other question is, she's hijacked another Wanda's body for this,
Mm-hmm.
but appears to be strong enough to pretty much wax everybody that she fights
Mm-hmm.
for the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
Would she be stronger if it was Darkhold Wanda? Like, would she be even harder to deal with if she'd found a way to actually travel there instead of dreamwalking? Or do you bring your power with you? These are questions that we don't know the answers
Well,
to,
I mean,
and I don't think the writers care about either.
no, I don't think the writers care, but I mean, fundamentally, this is Wanda with a dark hold, dreamwalking into a Wanda without a dark hold, but it's still
Yeah.
Wanda, and Wanda is
Yeah.
prophesized to either destroy the galaxy or rule it, so it shouldn't matter if she has the dark hold or not, and then later she destroys the dark hold. So I assume she's still prophesized to rule or destroy the galaxy. Also, that prophecy really annoys me because she's prophesized to rule or destroy the galaxy, but if they let her have America, she'll get the power to dimension hop and she'll rule or destroy every galaxy and every dimension. But there's a Wanda in every dimension.
Right.
Surely
There's
they're all prophesized to rule or destroy the galaxy, right?
Yeah.
What difference does it make?
I mean, too many questions they don't have answers to is the problem with this entire conversation.
Okay, yeah, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I did a pretty good job not spoiling myself for this movie. So I was like, whoa. They brought in a lot of characters here. Is the Fantastic Four in this movie? Are all the X-Men here? Is Wolverine behind that other door? And the answer was no. There are some people here. And then they all die.
They all die in very interesting ways.
It's true. Yeah, so I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the introduction of Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four. I haven't read a ton of comics. I think I've watched the Fantastic Four movies. But I have heard a lot of people say that John Krasinski is playing Reed as not enough of a dick.
I mean,
Reed is supposed to be abrasive and consider himself the smartest person in the world and like not really care about people. And Krasinski's playing it a little too empathetic.
Well, the problem is you also have Doctor Strange who thinks all of that about himself, right? Like,
yeah.
So I think if you had two of those people in the room, they might agree, or they would entirely assume everyone's concentration and devolve into just Reed Richards versus Doctor Strange. And the reveal of anyone else would just seem petty and indifferent to the entire story, which it mostly is, but you want there to be like, oh my god, it's Sir Patrick Stewart. And then you watch him get his mind melted. Yeah, he's getting real old.
Boy, is he old.
Yeah.
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 And I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it was fun. And it's such an interesting choice for them to be like, here is a Fantastic Four member. Here's Professor X. And then be like, and now they're dead. What does that mean for the future of the MCU? You don't know.
I mean, literally nothing. It means literally nothing because it's an ultimate dimension. Like, that's not Reed Richards Prime. That is not Professor X Prime. It doesn't matter. Like, they just mean nothing. That's why you can do it. That's why we got to see Peggy Carter get cut in half with a shield and not Falcon or actual Captain America, right?
Yeah, because these multiverse versions of the characters obviously don't matter at all.
No, of course not. They're props. They're not people.
But, okay, so, all right. So the question is, because everyone's wondering, how do they bring the X-Men into the MCU? Right? That's been the question since they acquired Fox.
I mean, some people are thinking about that, yes.
Well, yes.
I mean, I couldn't care less.
Sure.
I mean,
I'm not a big fan of this, but people have been very vocal about that. How do they bring them in? And people figured, okay, the multiverse is one way, because it's really hard to be like, the Fantastic Four and all the X-Men have been on Earth the whole time during the MCU, because that's obviously not true.
You can make the Fantastic Four... Okay, you can actually do them both a different way. So in one of the Fantastic Four movies, and I've not read any of the comics, so nobody can play me like it's not how it happens in the comics because I don't care. Which is okay. So the Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four, they're all doing some sciencey bullshit, right? And they get hit by gamma rays or a solar flare, and they turn into their powers. And Doctor Doom comes about and starts causing problems, and they form a superhero team, and it's really cool. And Hulk smash or whatever.
And there's 2 movies that are bad showing this.
There are lots of bad movies. But you can have whatever that solar flare science MacGuffin that they're going to do cause a human mutation that slowly brings about X-Men. You can't have Wolverine has been around for like 100 years going through all the wars like you do in some of the X-Men stories, but you can still get to those characters if you want. As a way to bring them both in at the same time. You like the Fantastic Four doing science stuff can happen anytime. So it's like, oh, we have a crazy world that's filling up with superheroes that can't be matched. And now we have 4 more is not a hard concept to wrap your head around. Like, claiming they've always been there is stupid because it's like, well, why didn't they show up to 1,000 different things? But just saying, oh, they're new, they just happen now, is fine. It's basically what they did with Spider-Man, where it's like, Spider-Man's villain totally comes about because of the first Avengers movie. They just subtly shifted when Spider-Man starts in this like grand scheme of things, and it was fine.
Right, but he's baby Spider-Man. Like, he is very young Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So do you bring in baby Professor X then?
You could, if you wanted to.
So he does James McAvoy it again.
Yeah, if you wanted to. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I don't think you should bring in Sir Patrick Stewart again. Like, he's an old man. Leave him alone.
He's he looked so tired. He looks so old. I was like, man, that guy used to be. He's always looked old, kind of.
I don't think you even get James McAvoy back in. He's 43. If you want to make him young, find someone else.
Time for a new young Professor X. That'd be interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, let's let Patrick Stewart. He doesn't have to do any more Star Trek. He doesn't have to do any more X-Men, please. Like,
are they not making any more Discovery? I thought he was in that.
No, but he's in Picard, his own TV show.
Right.
Yeah. Which is just like, maybe we let him retire? I mean, obviously no one's forcing him to do this, probably. Although the story with Bruce Willis over the last year is making me wonder that.
What happened with Bruce Willis?
He's like got dementia.
He has aphasia. Yeah.
That's yeah.
Okay.
And well, I think it's beyond that.
Sure. Okay.
But basically, he's not. He
retired from work officially. Like he said, I'm not doing any more acting because I can't read.
Yes, but apparently he's been churning out a ton of movies over the last 2 years before that day. And there are some accusations from the people who are like in his life that just kind of like pushed him into things, and he wasn't quite there the whole time.
Oh, okay.
So anyway,
sure.
I hope that's not happening with Patrick Stewart.
Fingers crossed.
I hope he's doing this because he wants to, and not because he's a little confused all the time. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, so I enjoyed it. I thought the character of America Chavez was incredibly boring to me. And part of it is she doesn't really have anything to do. A lot of the time she's being chased or falling or screaming about stuff.
No, but it's okay because at the end, the real power was the friend she made along the way.
It certainly was.
It's like Doctor Strange is just like, no, you can control your power. Believe me, you've been doing it this whole time. She's like, all right, I can. Cool.
Like the tropiest thing.
I was not a fan of that when I saw it.
No.
It was so stupid.
It's like, well, if we don't want the Scarlet Witch to get your powers and destroy everything, I'm going to have to take it. And then that goes from, wait, maybe I don't. It's like, are you are we risking here? Are we taking a chance with this? Are you like, America, give it a try, and if she fails, everybody dies? Is that what we're doing, Doctor Strange? Okay.
The weird part about the idea, I like the fact that there's an alternate dimension in Strange who does like in the grand calculus of the multiverse, your sacrifice means more than your life, and I like that take. That's a good take because you then get proper Doctor Strange who's like, I could take your powers, but I still can't stop Wanda. Like,
right.
Taking her powers does not solve this problem. Killing her solves more problems than taking her powers does.
Yeah.
Except he doesn't do that either.
True.
He's just like, believe in yourself, girl. You got this.
And it works because the power of friendship is better than everything.
It's true. It is.
Yeah. Well, and then it wasn't even that America beat Wanda. She was just like, hey, Wanda, look, these two children of the infinite children of yours are afraid of you because you look scary.
Mm-hmm.
Now, feel bad about all the things you've done. And she does. It's like,
she does.
All right.
Yeah, well, it turns out when you come through a portal and then fling their mother across the room, they're going to be scared of you.
Yep.
I'm
not saying they shouldn't be scared.
I mean, I get
Not at all.
I get the point of why this is supposed to work. It's supposed to be like, look at how far you've gone. You've become what you hate. But I mean, she's literally killing people left, right, and center at Camotage and stuff like
everywhere.
She's either beyond a point where she cares that people see her as a monster, or she's magic and she could just look different to her kids. Like, you could just enslave them. There are so many solutions here. Wanda, I feel for you.
How many better solutions here? Yeah.
You
like
could
there's
literally
not a version. There's not a universe where that Wanda's dead.
I mean,
and your kids are in an orphanage somewhere. Like, really?
Statistically, there has to be.
Yeah. It's called the Multiverse of Madness, but they do not do a good job with the multiverse concept at all, I feel like.
There's only like 77 different multiverses that you can actually go to.
Right.
And they started numbering them at 101. That's why we're at 661 or whatever.
616, yeah.
Yeah. Also, I would like to say, for the record, I hate the idea of trying to number multiverses because there would statistically be an infinite number of multiverses that all look like the same, but with such a tiny difference, you can't tell them apart. So numbering them is just stupid.
It seems futile. I agree. Yeah. Agreed. And the only two multiverses we spend any length of time in is one, the Everything's Been Destroyed universe, which is great. Only Doctor Strange is here, apparently. Everybody else is dead. Congratulations. That's a really exciting place to go.
Mm-hmm.
And two, New York City with flowers, and everybody wears black and wears hats.
Yeah, and you go on red.
And you go on red. And
the Illuminati runs the place.
And the Illuminati runs the world.
Yeah.
And do they dictate everybody wears black coats and hats all the time?
I don't know. Are they the Illuminati that's actually secretly hiding behind the shadows and places? Like, because they don't seem to question who the Avengers or S.H.I.E.L.D. are. They're just like, no, we're not them. So those organizations still exist. So I think the Illuminati is supposed to be a secret gathering of some of the world's largest superheroes, but not necessarily all of them. So Reed Richards might be in it, but the rest of Fantastic Four might not be.
Right. It was very secretive who was in the Illuminati and that they existed at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, good point. But Doctor Strange has a freaking statue. He was a member of the Illuminati.
He founded the Illuminati.
Yeah.
And they killed him, right? And they gave him a statue to cover it up and be like, let's all remember his sacrifice because it inspires people. It inspires people to wear gray, and I don't know. They just wear a lot of gray.
It's like they had a whiteboard in a meeting and were like, okay, we need a multiverse and we need it to appear different from our Earth somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And they just like threw stuff at the board, and somebody said that everybody wears black clothes. Someone's like, everybody wears hats. And somebody said, there's flowers everywhere. And they're like, perfect. Let's do that. All of it. It's like, But why? We don't know. It would explain anything.
But why not?
Just
Well,
looks different.
I mean, they actually don't have to. Like, you can like.
And
That's the point. Like, there's so many different alternate realities where you can find one where some things don't make sense. It's like we see one that's made of paint, and apparently, America has been there probably because they thought paint was oil. Never mind. Bad joke. Terrible, terrible, awful joke. Oil paintings. But it's not impossible to get yourself out of it. Like, she says eating's hard, but you can do it. They just need something that we can conceptually recognize as being a universe that makes sense. But we're shown a half a dozen that don't.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Mhm.
I just like the paint universe is like, why is that different? I don't know, man. I don't really need an explanation for that. It's just paint.
Mhm.
But this one where it's like everybody's the same. Humans are humans. Where did their individuality go? Like, how do you get every human in a world that is 99.9% the same as our Earth to wear black and hats all the time? That's impossible.
Exhibit A,
No,
Exhibit B.
you are doing that out of individuality. That is an individual choice for you, right?
I mean, are we assuming that all of them did not also make the same individual choice?
See, but that's insane. that's the same question. What happened to the humans of this world? What happened to them?
I don't know. You
Like,
eat enough
if it
pizza
was
balls.
everybody has 4 arms, I'd be like, okay, yeah, everyone has 4 arms, sure. But
Well,
human behavior.
I have 4 arms.
Heyo, thanks, Dad. But human behavior, I feel like I just need a little bit more of an explanation. If you're showing me it's basically Earth, like the Christine that we talked to is the Christine from 616. She's not weird at all.
No, she actually wears more color than the average person. I mean, here's
For
the
some
thing.
reason.
You could, like, I don't know, make the argument that all the rooftop gardens and like Memory Lane, that little town square they're in, they hang out in briefly. There's so much color and vibrance there that people don't feel the need to. Like, they contrast that their world is so colorful and vibrant and generally peaceful that people don't express themselves with color. They do it in other ways. It's a weird, like, juxtaposition. I'm not arguing that, but I'm just trying to find the threads of connectivity there.
I know, and you're doing your best with like the 2 data points you've been given.
I'm trying.
But you're trying so hard, and I do appreciate that. Alki says maybe they're just wearing black to mourn the death of Doctor Strange.
Maybe it's
mourning
Strange Day.
hats.
Yeah, Strange Day. Everyone just remembers that today's the day Doctor Strange died.
Right.
Yep.
Sure. I hope that's it, because that would make so much more sense than everybody in the city wears black all the time for reasons.
For reasons.
Bruh. Anywho's. Let's see. What else are we missing here? Anything?
I don't. Okay.
I guess just
you go.
Well, just back to Wanda. So he has the conversation. Doctor Strange has a conversation with her in the orchard.
Mm-hmm.
And then she calls America, and then goes, "Oh, you didn't say her name, did you?"
Right. Yeah.
Crap.
Mm-hmm.
And then she reveals that the orchard she's in is actually desolate and
it's basically
blah, blah,
hell.
blah, blah. Yeah.
Also, it's so weird. How long has she been keeping that illusion up? Because Google satellites got to see that on a map, right? How do you hide that an entire area of some land has basically turned into hell from Doom? Like,
well, where is she? Is she just in Vermont or something? Like,
she's within driving distance of. Well, actually, we don't see how Doctor Strange got there. He's not wearing his cape, so I'm assuming he didn't magic. But slingering, sure.
Slingering it, yeah.
Provided he's been there before.
Yeah. Anyway, it's this weird kind of nether space she's in already. So when it turned into like this hellscape, I was like, oh, maybe they're on a different plane or something. Like, Strange just found her there and was like, "You're hanging out here. I get it. You're grieving. I need your help with something." And oh crap, you're the thing that I need help with. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, up until that point, the movie's really, really consistent and on point. It's like really good. Like I don't know why when she was like, crap, I guess I'll reveal myself to you, is she also like, why don't I just keep the book hidden, right? Because the idea that she could still be working with illusions and doing magic-y stuff, it shouldn't surprise Doctor Strange. The thing that he's worried about is, oh, you have the Darkhold, a bad, like an evil MacGuffin, right?
Right.
If she had just hidden that, she could have been like, look, I'm still trying with magic, but I'm doing it out here in the middle of nowhere. I'm not holding people.
Although, boy, does he not care about that.
Well,
He's like, you're here because I enslaved an entire town full of people for a month. And he's like, nah.
he's like,
fine.
look, at the end you made it. At the end you did right, and we all know that. So I'm not here to criticize. Like, fine. I'm fine with it. Like, he's like, I don't care. You're not doing it now. As long as you're not hurting someone now, I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah. And then it turns out she is hurting someone. Dang it. So I don't know. And then so it's this thing of like, okay, Wanda's the villain. She's wearing villainous clothing.
Mhm.
You're like, okay, whatever. She's gonna knock some people around and she maybe kill 1 or 2 people. And then yeah, at Karmitos, she's like, everyone dies. And I'm like, okay, this is what kind of villain we're dealing with here. This seems a little bit abrupt. Like,
Mhm.
I know enslaving an entire town is evil, but she didn't actively murder people.
I mean, now she is. Also,
Now she is. She's way into that.
she murdered lots of people at Comatage, and at the end of the movie, they're just like, oh yeah, here we have all of the sorcerers still. Like, there's no issue. No one's really dead. We have enough to, like, do training at the same time and reconstruction work. Like, we're not splitting up duties. We have literally dozens and hundreds of people. It's like, we have more people in the scene where we're rebuilding Comatage than we did erecting a barrier to stop Scarlet Witch.
Well, maybe some of the wizards were
Late?
lumberjack, were construction wizards, and they weren't really useful for the battle. But once just needed fixing, they called them in.
Oh, okay. Sure. That's... Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know. Did you get the feeling every single wizard, like every single sorcerer on the planet was there?
they pulled all of the masters from, like, the
Well, we saw
three
like
main houses.
England and like China.
Hong Kong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, the sorcerers maintained 4 bastions: Kamar-Taj, London, Hong Kong, New York. We saw them pull everyone they had from those 4 places explicitly. It's like, okay, it's not every single sorcerer on the planet. Some of them are off doing something without cell phone service. It's fine. But
Right.
you could, like, we know how many sorcerers there are because we saw them in Endgame, right? Like, Wong's like, oh, you wanted more? It's like, could we at least have that many here as well?
Is that... Did they say it's every single one?
Why-
I mean,
I
it
mean,
would make sense that it is because it's the end of the world stuff.
Right, like, why would you not have everyone?
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's
I don't
like,
know.
we know Scarlet Witch is a way bigger threat than Thanos.
Yeah.
So why would you bring less people?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, good stuff.
It's an excellent question. Yeah. So, yeah. So at the end, we see America trying to learn how to sling ring.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, why? And then I was like, oh, because her multiverse travel isn't, it's very local.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she goes from multiverse Empire State Building to other Earth multiverse Empire State Building.
Does she?
I
Is it
think
the
she
same spot?
does. Every time she multiverse travels to a place that's not like Paint World or something that doesn't make any sense.
She transforms from Scarlet Witch's, like, throne tower in the mists of Barad-dûr or whatever, right?
Oh, that's true.
To
into
Wanda's house in the other one.
In the
So
other
she-
multiverse. You're right.
So she can...
What does she need sling ring for?
She's learning other magic is the point, I think.
But it's useless. She can already travel anywhere, any point in time. Not point in time.
I don't
Point
see...
in space and the multiverse.
Uh-huh. I don't see why she can't travel in time as well, just FYI. She should totally be able to. Like, who says all dimensions are running at the same chronometer pace, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah.
Anywho, yeah, I needed more for that actress to do. She kind of has a blank look a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's again, she's not given a lot. So I understand it. But
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. She needs more charisma. It's just like if you're gonna bring in a new young character, like let us get attached. Like give us a reason to care.
Yeah. I mean, that
And I
would be
guess they
nice.
kind of did. They're like, look
No.
at this tragic backstory with her kind of almost maybe killing her mom's. Probably not. Hopefully not. We don't know.
I mean, I still don't care. Mainly because her
Right.
name's America, and her,
You can't get past
I
America
can't.
Chavez.
I can't get past the fact her name's America and everything she does is with a star. Like, why is she
Yeah.
able to open up portals in the shape of a star?
Because comics are dumb.
Why does she have a wear a jacket that is an American flag? Right now, I did have this conversation with my brother on the way home from the movies, which is that when we see her in her original dimension, she does have a star on her clothes there, and so
Yes.
apart from the portal opening star, which I can't get past, the reason why she wears stars and stuff like that is because it's her last connection of symbolism to her original dimension and her family. So she surrounds herself with the star because it's comforting to her. Which
Sure.
which makes sense. I'm not against it. We never ever once question that. All we do is have a girl named America and is surrounded by stars. I'm surprised the U.S.
Right.
agent didn't show up in here too, or Captain America, or anyone else.
Captain Britain is not Captain America, but it's kind of close.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, overall, I had a good time with it. I enjoyed it. I
Mm.
thought it was good. I don't really feel the need to go see it again, which is not a good sign for it.
I would not go and see it again.
Yeah.
Probably not. No.
Yeah.
Also, Evil Strange shows up at some point, and he's like, the Darkhold carries a heavy toll, and he like has a third eye that opens up on his forehead, and
Yeah.
then
Strange has one.
Our Strange is just like, yeah, you know what? I guess I will just use the Darkhold that corrupts everything it touches. That I've just been explicitly warned is why the last universe killed their Doctor Strange because he kept dreamwalking and using it. I guess I'll just use it now too. Sure, he jumps on that very quickly for no real reason. Like, I don't know why.
They did a bad job explaining the third eye because
Mhm.
I was curious about that too. And the third eye is not an indication that you're using the Darkhold.
No, you don't think so?
Uh-uh. They kind of make it seem that way in the movie very much because the first time we see it, like sinister, evil Doctor Strange has the third eye.
Yeah.
But apparently it's connected to extrasensory perception, other mystic abilities, to the Eye of Agamotto, which is the thing that used to hold the Time
Right.
Stone. So yeah, it's not inherently... It's not
Well-
connected to the Darkhold.
The way it's shown, it very explicitly seems like it is.
Yes.
And also,
Agreed.
when at the start of the movie, when Doctor Strange is at the wedding and he sees like carnage going on, he does like a little magic spell, and we see his like senses expand to include the cosmic horror demon that's being sent after America. So, I don't think he needs a third eye to do whatever it does.
Right. True.
Like,
It's
I don't know.
not. It's not. I don't know. The explanation that I saw says it's an effect of being the holder of the Eye of Agamotto. Not that it's required to do stuff with the Eye of Agamotto.
It's
I
a
don't
little.
know.
I mean, he doesn't even have the Eye of Agamotto. Well, he has the Eye of Agamotto. It's the necklace, but in the necklace should be the time stone, and we see him open it, and it's nothing in there. There's some like
Right.
fuzzy lights, not a green time stone.
Correct.
Because
and the
having
Eye of
time control-
Agamotto is not meant to hold the Time Stone. That's just where Doctor Strange kept it.
Well, it's where he found it. Like, it was in there before he got to it, right? Like, it had been in there for thousands of years. Where is it shown that it's not supposed to be in there? Like, I assume in the comics is where you're pulling that from.
I'd forgotten
Okay.
that part. But yeah, just again, the explanations that I'm seeing is the Eye of Agamotto wasn't created to hold the time stone.
Okay.
Did it contain the time stone? Yeah, because it's a really good place to hide it. But that's not its purpose.
What was it? What does it do then? Because the only time we ever see it used in any of the movies before this is in using the time stone. Like when Doctor Strange first finds the Eye of Agamotto and the Forbidden Book when he's learning in Doctor Strange 1, and he uses the Eye of Agamotto to access the time stone, because the time stone, like all the other Infinity Stones, will hurt people if they touch it, like with their bare hands. Like you need a focusing rod or something to interface with these things, and that's why
Right.
it was in the Eye of Agamotto. And then he does
Sure.
sorcery and like reverses an apple. Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Like it's just everything we've seen so far says the Eye of Agamotto is the cup that holds the time stone, right?
Correct. That's what we've seen it, and that's
Right.
what. Yep.
But
Again,
okay, but
maybe the MCU is treating it differently. But yeah, as far as comics existence of the Eye of Agamotto goes, it doesn't not exist solely to hold the time stone.
well, I mean, it's clearly doing something else now since he doesn't have one.
Right.
Um,
And he's using it to perceive things, right? He uses it to see the squid monster.
no,
Or reveal it.
no, he doesn't use it for that. He does some
Does
other
he not?
he does some other magic thing. The only time he uses it is to try and unlock the hidden door to the good magic MacGuffin.
The Waygate, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't work there. So because you apparently need
Right.
a watch as a key.
Yeah. Man, don't lose that watch. That's seems it's a really important door. Yeah. As soon as they were like, there's a book and it will give whatever you need. And I'm like, okay, this book is bullshit. If they end up using this to win, I'm going to be mad. And they
Right.
were like, we got the book and the book's gone. And I was like, that makes more sense. I
mean-
accept this version of the book.
I don't know. Because does that destroy the book? Oh, I don't know.
She burns it.
She burns a page, and then we don't get a good look at the rest of it. Like we very
I thought
explicitly,
the whole thing went down.
I think it might have been, but we very explicitly see a single page burn up, and then we kind of don't really see what happens to the rest.
I thought we saw the whole thing get burned up.
I don't think so. But
Okay.
also, I would like to know why the Darkhold is singular to like it's not singular. Is there's one in every dimension,
Right. Or was.
but or was. But the Magic Good book, there's only one, and it exists in the in-between space between dimensions.
Right.
Like, why can't we just dimension hop and go get another one there? Why is
Well,
why is the good one singular, but the dark one, there's dozens of them?
Well, and even 616 Strange thinks it's a myth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He doesn't even think it exists. So it's not accessible to him.
Mhm.
There's not a Waygate in 616 he can access it with. or
Right.
for.
I mean, I
So is
assume
it-
you could build one.
Yeah, if you
But-
knew where it was. And
If you knew where it
how,
was.
sure.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But he simply doesn't. So that's the question. How many Doctor Stranges have access to this book from their position in their multiverse if it's between multiverses?
None now, I suppose.
I guess it's
burnt.
gone now. If it's the
Yeah.
only one. Yeah.
Boy, I sure hope we don't need that again.
No, it's terrible. It is a terrible Dungeons and Dragons item, right? Like you've acquired the book that can do anything. It's like, oh, come on. This is terrible storytelling.
You've acquired the deck of many things. Good luck.
No, Deck of Many Things is interesting. Book that can do anything you need it to beat the bad guy is much worse.
Suppose.
Did they use it to defeat Thanos?
No.
How'd they defeat Thanos?
They just fought him. That's what they said. We were all bandits.
I actually did see some comments that he was missing two of the stones, so he wasn't
their version.
fully Infinity Gauntleted up.
Right, because they show him that
He's like impaled.
he's impaled, but the planet they're on is Titan, or whatever planet he came from. So basically, they fight him when
So the
he's
Titan fight.
fighting, where it's like the Guardians of the Galaxy
And Iron Man and Spider-Man, yeah.
right. So he wouldn't have had all of the stones there. Yeah.
Right. So they just got him early enough and had enough power
Right.
among them to take him down.
Yeah, Aki. In that universe, Doctor Strange was using the Darkhold to dreamwalk into other dimensions to find out how they defeated Thanos. And the Illuminati explicitly says that, like, while he was doing that, we all banded together and tried to fight him, and eventually he came to his senses and helped. And he may have used the Darkhold in some aspect to fight Doctor Strange, and they did kill not Doctor Strange, Thanos, and they did kill him for it later. But largely they just said they just fought him. Like, they didn't magically kill him, they just hit him with a brick.
And didn't they say too that he caused an incursion? They're Strange.
Caused an incursion.
Dinking around so much.
Yeah.
Caused an incursion where their universe collided with another one, and that one was destroyed.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what they're so freaked out about.
Right, that's why they killed him, is because they don't want him to cause another incursion explicitly their own universe, which would be destroyed potentially.
Right.
Like, they don't want to risk that again.
And what bothers me about that is he was doing it to try to find a way to defeat Thanos, and guess what? Thanos is gone. So his motivation to multiverse hop is very, very dwindled at this point.
Well, no. I mean, he did it to try and find a way to stop Thanos before Thanos died, obviously.
Yeah.
And then
now Thanos is dead.
And then he kept going, is I think what they said. Oh no, even though he couldn't find a solution, he kept doing it, essentially, is what they said.
Yeah, but I thought he stopped when they defeated Thanos, because that's what he was doing it for.
Well, no, because after they defeat Thanos, they killed Doctor Strange at the same time, and then said Thanos killed him and celebrated him as a hero. So after Thanos died, he stopped because he was dead.
Okay, but like, they didn't have this conversation. Okay, Doctor Strange, we understand you were trying to find a way to defeat Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
You caused an immeasurable tragedy, but we understand your motivation was to defeat Thanos, who's gone now.
Well, I mean, I assume it all happened at the same time. They were like, we understand you were trying to do it to stop Thanos. We just stopped Thanos, but you did a thing that none of us can control or stop other than stopping you right now. Thus, we're killing you. And he was like, I understand. And Tuning Fork Man shouted at him. Those events all happen in the same space of 2 minutes.
It's very eventful. Super eventful 2 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And so they treat 616 Doctor Strange with the same suspicion that they treated the one that they killed, which is pretty hostile. Understandable to do it that way, I guess.
Right. I mean, it's interesting that you can...
that's a good...
How much of it was truthful?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, you have to assume at some point their versions of our characters, like Professor X or their Captain UK instead of Captain America, are also paragons of their virtues that they are in our universes. Like, you wouldn't expect Captain America to just be lying about stuff and running the Illuminati, but like
Captain Britain, not Captain America.
Right. I'm like I'm saying, you have to assume that the heroes are still heroes. We can. Why would they lie? Like, is my question. It's like, why would they lie? What would they be lying about?
Kill Doctor Strange for a more selfish, less moralistic reason, right?
What was it?
Well, like, Doctor Strange accuses Mordo of killing his Doctor Strange so he could get a seat on the council. So he could become part of the Illuminati, right?
He doesn't... our Doctor Strange does not necessarily genuinely believe that, because he was attempting to bait him into an attack to free himself from his bindings.
Correct.
Right? Like, he was provoking. It's not a held belief that he thinks Mordo really just wants a seat on the council.
I don't know. I mean, the most effective way to bait somebody into attacking you is to say something that maybe has some truth in it, right?
Sure, I guess. Or it
Like,
could be to spit in their face with the memory of their dead friend who they very sadly had to kill to protect the fate of the universe. Um,
yeah, maybe.
I feel like that's probably quite likely as well. Like
Right.
Black Lightning, Black Thunder, Tuning Fork guy. I can't remember his name.
It's Black Bolt.
Black Bolt, sure. He looks very, very sad when he looks at Strange. There's like, oh, you wouldn't want to get into like a contest of words with Black Bolt, and Black Bolt looks genuinely remorseful to see his dead friend return to him that he's had to kill, and like his last words to him are, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
So I don't
Well, at
think
least
these
that's what
people.
they said it was. Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, fine. If you sure, okay.
No, look, we don't have any super great reason to trust them, but at the same time, like Professor X, I have a hard time going with Professor X as just bald-faced lying
Mm-hmm.
to this Doctor Strange about how things happened. So,
Yeah, especially the Professor X that immediately is like, "Look, Strange, protect the girl at any costs, right? Like you're doing the right thing. We have the good book MacGuffin here. You just gotta find it. It's here." And he basically tells Doctor Strange to be like, "Fuck the Illuminati. Do what you gotta."
yeah.
Like it's hard for me to believe that like all of them are lying and then immediately turn around and help him.
Yeah, good
I don't
point.
know. I just think it's
That's an excellent point.
yeah.
Anywho, it was fun. Like, I honestly, that whole part of it was just like, wow, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then for them to die was honestly shocking. It was just
Mhm.
like, all right, we are doing stuff in this movie. Wanda's body count is increasing.
Yeah.
And named characters, not just no names at Carmitage.
Well, I mean, they're named props. They're not characters. Like we need.
Well, they're more named than the randos at Carmitage. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's true. Yeah, they have more names than people in the background. It's true, but
Yes.
that doesn't make them any more valuable.
No, but just for the morality of movies and
Mhm.
fiction, killing nameless, faceless mooks is far, far down on the morality list compared to killing someone with a name.
I don't think that like in the grand scheme of things, I don't see these people as being any different, right? Because they're not characters that we care about. They're like the mook version of characters. It's like, oh, we needed characters that we can kill. Let's grab them from another universe because it doesn't matter. Like this.
But they're not mooks because
They
we
are.
know who they are.
But no, but like fundamentally, they still don't have any value because they're not our characters. It's like if Wanda had killed actual Captain America in like Civil War or something, you'd be like, oh my god, that's incredible. That's huge. Chris Evans is out of a job, right? Captain America's story ends here. But now we're like, oh, she killed someone in an alternate dimension that we can't ever go back to or are very unlikely to. That'll have no impact on the other movies or the rest of the stories moving forward.
True.
Cool. So how is that different to killing someone in the background?
Because it's characters we know
No.
and that we have history with.
We have no history with her.
No, we do. We do. And they can use the loophole of being like, that's not the Captain Britain from the What If series. That's a different one, but it's her.
It's not.
There's nothing different about her as a person. They never give us any indication that her personality is any different from the one from What If.
Is the one in the What If running the Illuminati?
No,
Okay, so it's not the same one. We know that now.
that's not personality.
It's the person.
She has a jetpack. She's clearly a very different person. Right?
No, she's just a slightly overpowered mook. Like, there's no difference between killing these people and killing a bland background character. Literally no different. You just got a slightly cooler fight scene out of it.
Damn. Okay. I think you're in the minority here. I think
mean,
most of the people
that's
who
fine.
watch that and watch Captain Marvel watch Captain Britain get bisected by her own shield were like, oh, they weren't like, random mook died, whatever, move on.
Don't get me wrong.
You
I was
know?
like, "Ooh, that's cool," because it was a cool fight scene, and seeing someone get bisected with a Captain America shield is fun to watch.
But
And
that
I know,
character's death is almost meaningless.
yeah, it is. It's entirely
Yeah.
meaningless. It means literally
Okay.
nothing.
All right. Agree to disagree.
I mean, what meaning does Professor X's death have to the rest of the Marvel universe? Like, what meaning was there?
That's not what I'm saying. It's in the meaning of us knowing these characters and having spent time with them for a long time now, in some cases.
What was
Patrick Stewart's Professor X, we've known him since the year 2000.
Right, but you know he's not dead, right? Like, that one died, but it doesn't matter because there's another. And that one you haven't seen because it's not the same one. That's what they're telling us. That is literally not the same one as the one you've seen. Like, that's not the same person.
I understand it's different, but it's close enough.
No.
Okay. Again, agree to disagree. You don't think it's close at all. I think it's pretty close.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
That's all.
Yep.
All
you
right.
can be wrong. That's fine.
Okay. Deal. Deal. All right. We're a bit over here, but I did want to talk about GSL. You want to do
Sure. Yeah, we can do
GSL final talk?
Sure.
Okay. So I'd like to say the game where, I think we talked about this already during the stream, but the game where Rogue got his hatch blocked by Creator, threw down his second base in the third location like he's done a billion times, and Creator's seen a billion times, and then canceled it and proxy hatched the front door of Creator's net was so risky and so ballsy and such a genius play. I've never seen anything like that before. That was amazing. Rogue's a monster.
That was a good play.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Anything that impressed you from that series?
I really can't remember it very well, if I'm being honest. Like, I watched it like a week ago. I don't remember what happened. Like, I remember Rogue One, like, what was it, like 5-2? 4-2.
Yeah. Did they play?
Like, I'm trying to remember the games that Creator won, and I don't really remember them. Because I remember the game one on Golden Wall, where Rogue was like Proxy Hatch and a Nidus Worm. And like, okay, that was a cool game. But Golden Wall gives us tons of cool games. So even it does not stand out.
Well, except Golden Wall's been gone.
Right. Well, the fact that Golden Wall's in the map pool is interesting, sure. But we've had the entire season of GSL. Like,
yeah. No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good. I mean, it was fun. It was a fun series. Yeah. Cool.
All right, good. Zerg wins again.
Zerg wins again, as it should.
Right.
Yeah. We don't have the map pool for next season yet. Do we have qualifiers yet? Qualifiers happening? Nope. Whole lot of not.
Whole lot of no information.
Nope.
That's okay. That'll come when it comes.
Yeah. 2 weeks, by the looks of it. May 23rd.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, cool. Well, time to wrap it up then. Very Multiverse of Madness heavy pod.
Yep.
All right.
Or we could talk about Moon Knight.
Did we? We did.
When?
Did we not talk about the finale?
No.
Oh.
Last week we'd only seen Steven fall off the boat. And not the finale.
Oh man. Why do I remember having this conversation with you?
Probably because I would have just said it was kind of boring.
Fair.
Yeah. And honestly, I hope there's no second season.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
All right. I just want to say that I understand them using blackouts to give us Jake fight scenes earlier in the season, right?
Yeah.
It was an interesting thing, but for them to do the blackout in the, oh no, our heroes are in peril in the final moments of the story, how will they ever get out of this one? And it's like, they did. How, story? Jake did it. What?
What extra powers does he have that
I know
Mark doesn't?
Yeah. How? What does he? I'd really like to know. That's all. But and for them to be like, we're just gonna keep Jake hidden, and then in the post-credits scene, 10 minutes later, we're like, here's Jake, and I'm like, What were you?
Well, I mean, it's great because it tells us that next season there will be the exact same level of backstory reveal where it's like somewhere deep dark in Mark's past, his mother was abusing him, and so he invented Stephen Grant to live a happy life, right? And has this split personality. And then next season is going to be like somewhere in Mark and Stephen's past, his dad was abusing him, and they invented Jacob.
And Jake only speaks Spanish for some reason. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd watch a season 2, but I'm not. I don't know. Oscar Isaac just is amazing. He's great. I really enjoyed watching him do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
So more of that, I would not say no to at all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Oscar Isaac is clearly the best part about the thing. The end of the show where he just like wakes up in their bed again.
Yeah.
How does that happen? Like,
I don't know.
is that them being like, maybe everything was a dream?
Right.
Maybe they're just delusional and he's learned to communicate with one of his split personalities. And none of it actually happened.
Right. And I think we talked about this. The thing with Moon Knight in the comics is sometimes they do that.
Yep.
Sometimes like the story that we showed you is not, it didn't really happen. It's all in Mark's head. Mark, Stephen, Jake's head.
So I'm gonna assume none of it actually happened and none of it mattered.
And they're just gonna go back to work at the museum in the gift shop.
Yep.
And maybe have less time lost because they're both aware of each other. But Jake's still doing stuff.
Yep.
He's driving around, murdering people in a mental institution and kidnapping Harrow from them, and then killing Harrow. So I mean, that's a lot of lost time.
The thing I don't
for Mark and Steven.
Okay, so the thing I don't get is they show that Mark and Steven, their hearts don't balance on the scales because they're two people in one body, right?
Yeah.
And but when they start explaining to each other like what their lives are about, their hearts start to fill. But why isn't Jacob there? Like,
right?
Why is there only two of them? Where was he?
They reconciled the Mark Steven, and then it's like your heart is balanced, and it's like, but Jake's still in there. We kind of balanced it, but we still have the same problem we did before. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Cool.
Super cool. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it from us then.
Yep.
All right, cool. Sounds good. So that's going to be it from us. This has been Somicron and Falcon Paladin coming at you with another edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour, streamed live at twitch.tv/Somicron. Go ahead, head over there, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything if you want to catch us for the next one. And the VODs are up at Somicron's YouTube channel. So just search Somicron on YouTube and you'll find it. And if you want to support the podcast direct, it is patreon.com/Somicron. A lot of Somicron today. And if you want merch, it's falconpaladin.store. Not Somicron. It's .store.
I could make it Somicron.store or falconpaladin.somicron.
Ooh, that would be really consistent with the rest of the stuff I'm talking about here. So maybe.
Maybe.
Anyway, thanks everyone. Until next week, stay safe and stay healthy. And above all, you take care of yourself.